Okay, so we are back.
Hello,
Very
hello.
sorry for that. Uh, we have our 4G EE thing, and then what needs to happen is it needs to be filled up, and we're hopefully going to be doing that this afternoon. But for now, we're running on the hotel's Wi-Fi, so if it's worse than usual, we're very sorry for that. But it's a temporary measure just for the next 40 minutes because that's how long of the show we have left. Uh, so I'm sorry because I very abruptly cut you off. Um, what were you going over? We were speaking about
I
Dr.
was,
Anthony Fauci.
yes, we would, and his execution. Well,
Yes, his execution. Oh gosh, I mean, what an evil man.
yes, but him and birds of a feather flock together. It's him and Bill Gates, and other little tribe of nasties there. Um, Psychopaths with no compassion in any shape or form. I mean, what good are they doing in the world? What good?
Not doing good for themselves.
Yeah,
That's
and a
what they're
lot of
doing.
harm to us. Tremendous amount.
And another thing that people don't hear enough is, do you know, in America, who is the biggest owner of farmland in the entire country?
Bill Gates.
It's Bill Gates.
Yes, with his GM crop.
Still modified crops, yeah.
Yes.
Bill Gates, we do have a photo of him somewhere, but I'm not sure. Oh, I don't think we have it anymore. Anyway, sorry, ridiculous, being ridiculous. Gosh.
You see, we're talking of supreme evil here. These people are not human beings. They're not human in any shape or form. We are dealing with Wetiko or a hidden force.
Also,
That
so,
is
what?
a
Sorry,
hidden
a wheat
force.
Tico.
Tico.
I've not heard of that.
Well, some people call it the Jinn. Some people call it Wetiko. There are different names for this batch of evil that we're under at the moment. And right now, we're in a strong force of evil that's commanded by these people. Where they come from, I don't know. Don't think anybody knows. But all I know is they're here. And they have to go, I'm afraid. Because these people are not human in any shape or form. You just have to look at the eyes. It says everything.
I'm not sure about the
There's
actual.
no compassion there in any shape or form.
I personally would say they don't have humanity. I'm not the whole really in depth with the conspiracy theories about lizard people sort of thing. I don't believe any of that.
I have never seen a little person or whatever they call them.
Little person, lizard.
A little person or a big person. Of the nature that is like the Greys and the other tribe. Because I have no desire to. It's very easily done. It's like tuning into a different station on a radio. Because we're not solid, nothing is solid. All we are is energy inside a computer having an experience. And to get in touch with these other people, you tune into them, and I have no desire to do that or learn how to do it.
No.
But that doesn't mean to say that I don't believe that they're there. And I do definitely believe that people can be taken over by evil spirits. Oh yes, that I do. And you just say to some person, "Oh yeah, it used to be so nice, and they've changed." They've changed because there's an evil force in. Oh, that I have experienced, and it's not pleasant. But I do believe that, and so many other people out there tend to agree. Uh, I'm not one of these people that says, "Show me the proof." Oh, no, I'm not like that. Um, I believe in electricity, but I can't see it. I don't know how it operates. There's a lot of things out there that I can't see, but they are there. So I think science is a bit over the top when they say, "Where is the proof?" Um, there are very strange things going on in this world that a lot of people have seen and know about, I tell you. And these underground cities are definitely there, but they don't come, nobody tells us about them.
Well,
That makes me wonder what they're getting up to under there, and I tend to think it's not good news.
no, well, that's where me and you tend to disagree. We both like. I think David Icke is very good when he starts talking about like the bankers, the Rockefellers, the globalists, the World Economic Forum, what's really going on in the world. But as soon as he turns on to the lizard people, I can't. I find it too ridiculous. I just don't believe it.
At your age, I wouldn't have done either. But I have mellowed now, and I refuse to believe. How conceited of us to think that we are alone on this planet.
I
That we are the
don't
only
think.
species on this planet.
No, well, no, I believe that. I believe that we're the only actual intelligent species on this planet. When we start going out of this planet, then yeah, that's far more believable. But here, right where I mean, no, I can't see that happening or being true.
Well, don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it. Put it on the back burner, and you might just experience it, because right now you are experiencing it, and you're going to back, like, if you survive, if you live, you will look back on these times and realize that we are in a tremendous force of evil.
Yeah.
Unbelievable force that is not human.
I
What
believe we're
sort
under
of
a
a
tremendous.
human being would take a drug that you knew was poison and distribute it to thousands of children, adults, in a country where they had a lot of people, uninformed people?
People who
What
want
sort of a human being would do that? I don't think a human being would.
people who want to make money. You know, I think you're underestimating how evil people can be. I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
underestimating
no, I
people.
think you are. No,
I went
because
through the camps in my
what I'm
lifetime.
saying is, I think you're underestimating the people. It's not some evil
Underestimating
force.
no.
I don't think it's some evil force. I think it's just human beings are sometimes, not all the time, sometimes genuinely evil.
So there you go.
That doesn't mean
It's
there's
an
some. That
evil
doesn't mean
force,
there's
isn't
some.
it? It's an evil force.
That doesn't mean they're not humans. I'm just.
Oh, it does.
Well, I don't think so. That's where we have our major disagreement on.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we both completely have opposite views
I
on.
don't know what it is, but there is something else out there. Definitely. And it's a very strong, very, very powerful force, and the only way we will combat that force is with love.
Yeah.
Because love is an incredible force, and it is
I
more
agree with
powerful
that.
than evil.
I agree with that. Well, let's move on to something a little bit more cheerful.
What is cheerful about what is going on? I keep looking and
That's-
trying to find something
I
cheerful.
know, but
I don't want to stick my head in the sand and pretend that this is not going on.
I don't either. But
And the more we talk about it, and the more we get, listen, what are we doing sitting here? We're trying to get a message out to people. This is what we're trying to do.
I'm not saying that.
A cheerful thing was that a man has stood up in Parliament and said we have to investigate these drugs. That is cheerful.
That's a sort of cheerful thing, something positive. We're constantly going on about the negative. We need to talk about the more positive stories that are still about what we're talking about. So the guy talking in Parliament saying, I completely regret this, and the people who have the vaccine regret stories saying that I regret getting it. That's the positive. The people marching in London that were marching against the lockdowns.
Yeah, but I think we should be doing that now.
We should, yeah.
I think we're leaving it too late. I mean, you know, every single day down tools and marching up there so the country comes to a complete standstill because there's too many people out there objecting to what is going on. That's what should happen. There has to be so many more people. This kind of happen all over the world. It was happening. It seems to have died down now.
Because it was all just about the lockdowns. That was the main. It was a one-issue protest. It was the lockdowns. There were some other things, but they were smaller. It was more the lockdowns. We need to start.
It was about the passports in the
lockdowns and the passports. Those were the two.
But now they're bringing these passports back.
Are they?
Oh yes, yeah. America.
In this
you've got to have the passports to travel. We've got to have them to travel. Then this is going to be a daily occurrence. It's all to do with the New World Order.
I suppose, yeah, we do, because I can't.
They're not going to drop these.
It's illegal for me to leave and go to America.
Yes, and then it will be illegal. Look.
But it's not illegal for them to come to here if they're unvaccinated. But it is illegal for us to go to there if I'm unvaccinated.
Of course it is, yeah. And
so we as a country don't have
permanent climate lockdown
in Oxford.
Now. Yes. In Oxford will be the first. You will only be able to use your car for 15 minutes. That's the 4-bar introduction. But suppose I have an emergency and I've got to get out. I've got to see my mother or something like that. Oh no, you've used up your 15 minutes.
Well, you've seen these smart cities where they all have shared cars. Yeah. They're always electric. They're always brand new.
Yeah.
Ones that can be controlled remotely.
But it's going to control us. Because then it will be you can only take this electric car so far. You can't take it out of a certain vicinity. Total control. Total. Thanks to Mr. Bill Gates. And swamped with smart meters and the 5G pylons, which is going to attach it to the brain. And then brain attached to the cloud. Because these people think they can live forever. They're petrified of dying. Petrified of dying, these people. So they want to invent something where they never die.
Does anyone want to actually live forever? I've never met anyone who does.
Neither do I. But I don't think I want to.
No.
Not the way things are.
It would depend.
Not the way things are.
It would depend. Would you age if you lived forever?
I don't know. They probably, find some vitamin or something.
Probably, yeah. Plastic surgery.
No, I think, quite frankly, to live forever would be very dull and very boring.
Okay. Sorry, someone was saying Max in the background, and I was confused. I was like, "What is going?"
Yeah,
sorry, I was confused.
Someone was calling someone else. To live forever. I don't want someone taking over my brain. Thank you very much and controlling me. and making my decisions and deciding when I shall live and when I shall die. Oh, I'm sorry. Who the fucking hell are you to tell me things like that? Huh? Who are these people? And what are you freaking standing for and for?
I don't know.
Have a look at those people, bunch of sheep, still walking around in masks.
Well, the ones that irritate me the most are people my age. That's the ones that irritate me the most. They're young. They're healthy. Why the hell are you wearing a mask still? It doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
Hiding behind it. Like this is my protection. They've told me to do this and they're right. I'm wrong.
The government's always right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm going to start thinking of the French Revolution. And they used to bring them out and chop their heads off, didn't they?
Well, speaking of the French Revolution, do you know who helped start the French Revolution?
We did.
No. Do you know specifically?
No, go and give me the name.
Thomas Paine.
Did he? Yeah, oh well. Okay.
He wrote the French version of The Rights of Man.
Yes.
Where are we right now?
Right here, yes.
Right
where
here.
He probably sat at that desk where you're sitting. No, it doesn't look
No,
quite old enough.
he sat in the sheriff's room and here.
Yes. Listen, you might possibly be Thomas Paine reincarnated.
I'm definitely not.
Well, you don't know. You never know.
I'm pretty convinced I'm not.
You're pretty bright for your age, though. You really are.
I don't believe in
And
reincarnation.
no, come on, you know you're an exception to the rule. And I'm terribly proud of you.
I don't quite know how I don't know. I don't think I'm that intelligent. I just think I speak out more than others. I think you give me a bit too much credit sometimes.
Oh, see, I think if you live, none of us know. I think you're going to do something special. I really do.
Yeah. Hopefully. I don't want to just be, I don't know, not doing anything with my life. I always want to be doing something important.
Well, you're trying.
I'm trying.
That's all we can do is try.
I'm only 19.
All we can do is try, my darling man. That's all. And we keep trying till the day we die.
I mean, one of the founding fathers of America was 17 years old. Imagine a 17-year-old starting an entire country. That's ridiculous.
What about this young fellow, the ex-thing that's run off with all that funny money?
What's this?
Young guy. He's taken them for trillions.
What? Oh, the FTX
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the fuzzy hair, pair of shorts, and bingo, he's done it. How could
'Cause he's
people be so stupid?
I mean, he stole a hell of a lot from the government. Stole a hell of a lot. So I'm kind of sympathetic. Kind of sympathetic to the cause.
But that just goes to show what the government is.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I know people who sort of live off the government, and I know a lot of people who take money from the government, and I never really care. A lot of people say, oh, these people, you know, living off benefits, or these people taking money from the government when they don't really need it. You know, I don't really care about that.
No, and you also
Take back
listen,
as
the
much as you
government
can
doesn't
from the
give
system.
you anything because it goes right back into the economy and you pay for it every time you buy a loaf of bread. Nobody gives you anything.
No. It's free money. Free money. I hate when people say that. Oh, it's like
It's
free
not
money.
free. It's not
Nothing's free.
Nothing.
Especially
is
not
free.
money. It's
Nothing.
ridiculous. If money was free, it would be worthless.
And they've got to keep human beings alive, otherwise nothing
Well,
is. This is
certain
gone. They
certain
only give
amount,
you
at least.
what does keep you alive.
Well, we've now got 8 billion people on the planet. We have 8 people alive today around the world.
Yeah, but years ago, I mean, we didn't have government money. I mean, people
I
grew
think things.
plants and fed themselves.
Well, things were easier because there were less people. Population across time. So I want to look this up. 8 billion people around the world today, and there was only 1 billion people in 1800. I want to see how many people were alive when you were born. I won't say what year you were born, but I'll have a look.
Thank you.
There are 2.2 billion people. There were only 2.2 billion people alive when you were born, and now there's 8 billion.
Yes.
I say only 2.2 billion people, like it's just normal.
But if you fly across the world and you look down and you see there's so much land,
And we're all shoved into these cities.
Yes, but because people congregate like rats.
It's just a natural thing.
It's a natural
what
thing,
we've done
yeah.
throughout
But
history.
if it was spread out, I mean, I heard that we could, the whole population could be taken into Brazil and have a quarter of an acre for us to feed ourselves.
Yeah, I've heard similar, but with Texas. If every person on the planet alive today were to live in Texas in squares, this wouldn't be including roads and
Yes.
and lakes, but
Huh?
if everyone had their own square, they would have something ridiculous like a 200 meter by 200 meter land area for every individual person in the world could live in Texas.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And you realize how big the world is, and you only realize it when
you
you're
take
on
that-
an aeroplane and you look down.
I've never been
And
on an
the
airplane.
well, you will. And the
Eventually.
vastness of this planet. And the planet is beautiful. I mean, those Brazilian rainforests, they've got cures for so many diseases in there. It's not true. Incredible.
Mm.
And every day they cut down thousands and thousands of acres of it, upsetting the ecology, to grow cattle for McDonald's.
Yeah, so it can be made in Brazil and then shipped all the way around the world, all the way to the United Kingdom, where we can sell burgers.
And I read that
£2.50.
we catch prawns here in Britain, and then we send them to Singapore or Thailand to be packed and sent back to us.
Yeah.
It's strange they do things like that, isn't it? I wonder why.
It's cheap. They use slave labor. It's the same with, the super environmentally friendly hybrid car, the Toyota Prius.
Yes.
That car, the body of it is made in Canada. The nickel for the batteries is mined in the Congo. And then they're all shipped to China, where they assemble a car, where they can be sent back to Canada, America, the United Kingdom, all over Europe, Australia, everywhere. Why do we do that? Why the hell?
Yes.
The bodies are made. It's ridiculous.
And this environment thing, they're pushing this climate thing, which is another great big hoax. They're cutting down trees and chopping them up to little blocks to send them over here and other countries to burn. And that's good for the climate. chopping down the trees and chopping them up into and burn that fossil fuel.
It's ridiculous. But so there's one other thing, two other things I have points about. I don't know if you notice, everything says made in China.
Yes.
Doesn't say that very often anymore. What it'll say is designed in the United Kingdom, or designed in California, designed in Canada, designed wherever, because they've stopped saying made in China, and they're saying designed in the United Kingdom, so it looks better and go, wow, a British product.
Yes.
A British product.
But even if it's a British product, is the company still probably owned by China?
Certainly a percentage of it will be. If it's even if
It
it's
already
not.
is.
One more is, I don't know, take these chairs we're sitting on, for example. They have nice varnished wood, but what some furniture stores do is they say 100% British trees, and you think, oh wow, this is British made, this is brilliant. What they'll do is they cut down the trees, they ship the trees to China where they're processed, made into the chairs, and then shipped back to the United Kingdom. It won't say made in China, but it will say 100% British trees.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's a British product.
Sure. Because they got the slave labor over there, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all the bananas as well.
Take away our money and we will be slave labor.
Certainly want to do take away cash. We will be in a cashless society one day.
Then we're slave labor.
Yep.
Slave labor. And little Mr. Sunak is determined to bring that in very, very quickly. Can let that happen? I don't understand it. I really don't. How people can be so stupid. But look how easy it was for Hitler. Unbelievably easy for him. He only had 12 disciples, and they joined because they liked the uniform.
Speaking of the uniform, do you know who made Nazi Germany uniform?
You told me. Tell me again.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
And they're still a major company. I mean, people are getting cancelled for things like people get cancelled for the tiniest things. I mean, do you remember? Uncle Ben's rice?
Yes.
Do you know how they got rid of the guy on the packet? It just says Ben's Original.
No.
They got rid of the guy on the front cover because it was racist to use and this isn't my words, just to be clear. It was racist to use a black person to sell things. So they got rid of Uncle Ben's. So it's so weird. I can't remember the original point I was making now, but anyway.
It's all getting so ridiculous, but it's all designed to be ridiculous so that everything is ridiculously confusing for us. That makes us easier to control.
Yeah. And we're already easily controlled, especially my generation. They're constantly being brainwashed by TikTok.
That should definitely be taken off. Definitely.
Who owns TikTok? China.
China.
Who goes soft on China? No. Rishi Sunak. Who's going to do nothing about it?
No.
Rishi Sunak.
Absolutely.
He's going to do nothing.
He probably watches it himself.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he certainly has.
Well, that's his mentality, isn't it?
Well, no. I don't think it's his mentality. I think he knows what he's doing is wrong. He's getting a lot of money, so he doesn't care.
Oh, so he can watch TikTok and have a little laugh.
And you know what's probably one of the reasons why this country has gone, and all the countries have gone so downhill, is even the people in charge don't have a stake in this country. What stake does Rishi Sunak have in this country? He can fly off to America. He's got a second passport. He can fly off back to where his parents are from. He can go back to India. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
he has no stake in this country. He wants the power. That's it.
Sure, but Obama and all these guys.
Yeah,
they've
Obama
all
being
got
from Kenya.
Expensive beach front property.
Exactly.
And they all said the sea's rising.
And Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, Bill Gates,
a lot,
and Jeff
seafront
Bezos.
Property.
No, not just seafront property. Seafront property in Florida. which they
Yes.
say in the next 10 years, Florida is going to be underwater. Why did you just buy a $10 million house then?
And also,
They don't really believe it.
they're buying expensive beachside property in New Zealand too.
I don't believe the sea
Because I
levels are
worked
going
in
to
New
start
Zealand,
rising.
and they were lovely, lovely people, and it was a beautiful country. Beautiful. Hate to see it go like that.
I've never been, unfortunately, but I hear it's a very beautiful country.
Well, you've still got Britain to see. England's very beautiful. You go up to Scotland, and
I'm all right.
see some of the
I'm all
the
right on going to
scenery up
Scotland.
there. I mean, it's very lovely. It's a very, very pretty country.
That was Scotland was in the news this morning.
Oh yes, Wee Willie Cranky. The little lady who runs the place.
Nicola Sturgeon wants another referendum.
Yes.
Do you think Scotland should leave?
I think if they want to leave, let them fucking piss off.
Yeah, we give them more money than we get from them. I don't understand. The Scottish hate the British because of something that happened 400 years ago. Well, I don't know anyone down here that actually really hates the Scottish people.
Now
no one cares about the Scottish.
Exactly.
They're not important. I'm sorry. No one cares about Scottish.
You go, the North hates the South, and the South hates the North.
For no reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
My great granddad had some battle or some sort of thing in the 1600s, and that's why they hate us.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't care.
Because I don't want the Scottish laws coming down here.
Well, here's the stupid thing about the Scottish referendum and the Scottish politicians. They say, we want to leave the United Kingdom. We need to leave the United Kingdom because they don't listen to us in Parliament. But they want to go into the European Union, where that problem is a million times worse.
Yes, and
it's ridiculous.
They're WEF, aren't they? A lot of them.
Yeah.
They want this new world order. No money and everybody controlled. And that woman that's running it up there, she's all heavily involved with these young people that have been trained as the new world orders. And she knows it's coming, so she fancies a position for herself there.
I'm not sure if you remember this. I'm not sure if you saw this, but during the pandemic, Scotland and Wales were both cutting off certain aisles in stores that weren't essential items, so you could only go to places like Sainsbury's or Waitrose for essential items.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they cut off that weren't essential items? Just before winter, mind you. Baby clothes, clothes in general.
Yeah.
And things that apparently weren't essential items were women's sanitary towels. Mm-hmm. They cut those aisles off.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know what aisles were open? The alcohol aisle.
Yeah. Sure.
I think let's go to a clip.
But you see, I mean, all this, nobody stood up and said, listen, we're not standing for this.
No, because people have been captured.
Totally captured. And we're
it's not
still
just children.
Captured.
It's not just the children who are on TikTok, it's the parents.
Yeah, very sure, because that's their mentality, isn't it?
I know that I've never met a single person in my generation who's never owned TikTok. I'm the only one.
Good God.
I'm the only one.
Terrible.
That's probably why I'm the way I am. But this has been going on for a while. But
yes,
TikTok's a relatively new thing. It only came out in 2018, 2019. It's a new app, and it's the most successful app in history.
Oh. And there's pornography with children now.
Well, that's unfortunately been going on for a while. But yeah, you need to be a bit more.
It's advertising little tiny children with big bears up in.
So yes, was thinking about showing this as a clip to explain what we're talking about, but then I realized I don't think I should be downloading that onto Keith's computer. You know,
Yeah,
that
you've got to be a bit careful.
you do have to be careful. But Balenciaga were a very well known and established brand.
Yeah.
Very highly, you know, it's a very good brand. They were advertising bondage gear on teddies.
Yeah.
But the teddies were being held and advertised by children no older than 6.
Yeah. I saw it. Well, we saw it, didn't we? You know, at my place on the screen.
Yeah.
Balenciaga.
Yeah. You know, they're going to dive into the photographer who did it as well. They found out more about him. That photographer focuses mainly on photographing children for different brands.
Says a lot for him.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Yes.
Yeah, probably just a coincidence.
Of course, lots of coincidences. In fact, there is no such thing as a coincidence, is there?
I hear a lot of people say that. Coincidence, I'm sure. Well, we're at 10:55 now. We've come to the end of the show, and I always ask the question, what subject from today do you think is the most important that we've spoken about?
Doing away with money. That is the most important subject that we've spoken about today, for the simple reason we're finished. Once they take away that money, they have total control over us. And if you think things are bad now, they're going to be much, much worse when that happens. And there we'd be totally under the Chinese rule. I'm saying this as an old woman who's seen it all, and the whole thing petrifies me. It really does. What sort of a world are we going to leave these children? Shame on us. Listen, we're doing the very best we can here. I hope we've got through to a couple of you, because we love you. We love you. And thank you. Thank you for watching us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back here tomorrow at 8:30. It's 11 o'clock now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. As always, I always enjoy Thursdays. We always go into all sorts of subjects. You know,
Max, you're a breath of spring.
Breath of fresh air, yes. Thank you very much for joining me.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye.